Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Radiant Tale. It's been a couple days, because obviously I don't usually get to record over the weekends, and we are taking poor unconscious Pashalia to Ruth, so yeah. We left off at the drama point, and whatever. Also, I think my microphone and my recording software seem like they're doing some weird shit. I think everything's okay. Hopefully it's fine. Because, good God, I can't handle this shit anymore. I've had enough trauma lately, okay? Steam... I deleted one of my saves by accident in Baldur's Gate 3. And I was like, shit. How do I get that back? And everyone's like, oh, you just log on to Steam on the web and you can download it, whatever. And I accidentally closed my game beforehand, so I was like, oh, it said don't close your game! And I was like, alright, whatever. So I go to log into Steam on the web, and it's like, no, your password's wrong. So I'm like, fine, I'll just reset my password, whatever. Because I don't remember what it is. I'm like, I obviously must have changed it at some point. Didn't write it down, I don't remember. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just go online and I'll just change it. You having to change my password 37 fucking times, because every time I did, Steam was like, that's wrong. And then I'm like, I put the password in right. And then it's like, oh, there's an error, I can't log you in. Now, the error is not the one that is like, hey, you've logged in too many times. Okay, because if that would happen, I would have been like, oh, okay, just give it 30 minutes, whatever. I spent an hour and a half, almost 2 fucking hours, between waiting and fighting with it and whatever, and then I finally, just sat there for an hour after having, seriously, an emotional meltdown, because I'm like, did I just fucking lose my Steam account? I can't get into my account. And all the help topics are like, oh yeah, you can send a report to Steam. You have to be logged into your fucking account. I can't log into my fucking account! And then Steam's like, well, just reset your password. I did that 37 times, you fucks. Okay, I did it 8 times, but whatever. Obviously, it was too many resetting, and it was like, no, you're, okay, we gotta wait. But don't tell me, changed your password, try to log in again. And you try, and then I keep getting error, and I can't fucking log in. And I'm like, oh my God. I finally quit, and I sat there, and I was just having an emotional meltdown. And an hour later, I was like, all right, I need to see something, let me try it again. And then I finally got into my freaking account to go, and of course the cloud saves backed up and I deleted my most recent save, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what, it's fine, because they did a patch. It was kind of borking some of the romance scenes and stuff like that, so I'm like, I don't want to play my current game until they maybe fix it, because I don't want to mess it up. It's the first run, so I'm like, I'll just start a new one. So I'm like, it's fine. I probably lost a couple of hours. I think I only deleted a couple saves because I was trying to delete some of the old ones to free up space on my computer, because my hard drive is because that hard drive in my computer, that's a 2 terabyte hard drive that I paid extra money for, crashed 4 months after owning the computer. I only have my solid state drive, which is only 1 terabyte, and it's getting full. And Baldur's Gate 3 was over 100 gigs to update the damn thing. And I'm like, I'm gonna delete some of my older saves that I don't need. And I thought when I was going through, I'm like, oh, okay, you can just click delete, enter. And I thought it was because I could see where my mouse was hovering over the save. I thought that's what it was doing. But it was going to the newest one, so I think I deleted 2 or 3. Yeah. So, that's unfortunate. I didn't lose too much time, but maybe an hour or so. I'm not sure, but I'm like, it's okay, because by the time I get back onto that save, if they fix things, do a hotfix or whatever, then, and it might actually be fine, maybe stuff's fine, but I just don't want to, I'm just concerned with everybody saying that certain things are kind of, not working right. I'm like, So, yeah. So I'll forget where I was anyway, and I'll be like, it's okay. So it's fine. It is what it is. But, I'm more just, broken from having to go in and certain not being able to access my account and trying this for 30 minutes and being locked out of, and no help, no nothing, and what the fuck. So it's fun time. So I don't need my recording software to be dicking me over right now, okay? So I'm just saying, I don't have the patience and the tolerance, okay? I seriously think I'm gonna collapse. Anyway, Pashalia did. He collapsed, so we're gonna go take care of him now after 30 minutes. So I hope everything's, I can see the volume moving, but sometimes it looks like it's not registering. I don't know, so I hope it's fine, because I don't have patience today, so. Anyway, the ride to bring the unconscious Pashalia to Ruth was brutal, right? Because the wind's like, woo! I tried, like, checking some stuff before. I think it's very loud in the background. I couldn't stop thinking, what if he wakes up along the way? I held tight to Hope and Pashalia's hand as we soared through the night sky. I held tight to Hope and to Pashalia's hand. I didn't read that right. His eyes were shut tight and he showed no signs of stirring. How are you faring, Spacey? I'm alright, thanks. The wind whistled in my ears. Everyone's like, you're in love with him, right? Pashalia's hand was limp, so frail. I feared it might break at any moment. I mean, it looks like it might. Oh, Pashalia. As the mysterious voice had instructed, I gave Pashalia water from time to time while Ion supported him. Keeping an eye on our surroundings and the map, I told Vilio where to go. Our ride was otherwise silent, and I continued to pray for Pashalia's recovery. Vilio's a good dragon friend, isn't he? He's a good boy. Aw, look at the cute little town! Vilio flew all night long without rest. Around sunrise, we arrived in Ruth. The villagers were nowhere to be seen. Perhaps they were still sleeping. Convenient for us, since we could proceed without making a fuss. So this is Pashalia's hometown. I wonder if no one actually lives. Pashalia's like the only one. Everyone's slowly been dying or some shit. I'd always wanted to come here, but I couldn't spare it a second thought at the moment. All I could think about was saving Pashalia. Where should we go? The spring. I heard that same voice again. The spring of the spirits. I don't remember the voice we gave to what's her Vita, I think her name was. The spring. From what I remember, you can really feel the spirit's presence there. Come on, this way. Bringing a dragon works, because I feel like he can feel the magic, so. Vilio, who had turned back into his human form, led us to the forest. Ion carried Pashalia on his back. Look at how pretty that is! So this is the spring. Immediately, I knew this place was the ideal environment for spirits. I didn't even need mana to understand that. It had a limitless supply of clean, crisp air. Ion must have sensed it too. Oh, look at our sad CG. It's basically the exact same one we had in the last part, but now he's in a field instead of on a floor. He delicately sat Pashalia down in front of the spring. I can't read today. Then the water in the spring started to move. Trickling and babbling, it made its way down into Pashalia's mouth. Is that what I think it is? Yeah, those are the spirits who live in this spring. The process repeated a few times. Pashalia was visibly relieved from his pain, at least a little. I was wondering when they did that if they were going to show the cracks and things going to disappear, but doesn't seem so. I lost track of time after that. Spacey! How? Okay, we flew all night and got here. You got here 10 minutes after us? Doesn't it? I lost all track of time, but it wasn't hours passed. It's serious. I mean, maybe a couple hours, but not you got here instantly. What the fuck? Anyway.
Vilio! Ion!
I'm surprised you found this place.
I felt a strong spirit presence, so I assumed it came from around here.
By sunset, the others had come to join us. I mean, literally, it's been a day. What's it been 8, 9 hours max? What the fuck? How's Pashalia doing? His complexion has gotten a little better since we got here. He ain't shown no signs of recovery, though. Guy's barely been holding on. Aw, Vilio looks so sad. Pashalia. My heart threatened to burst at the sight of Pashalia lying there, never coming to.
I'll take care of Pashalia, so you guys go change out of your clothes.
Get some sleep, too. Just a little. Hey. Honestly, I didn't want to leave. But it'd only cause more trouble if I collapsed here.
you if anything happens.
Filio, Ion, and I obediently went back to the carriage. I couldn't sleep a wink. We returned to the spring when Ginnia called us. Oh, now Zephora looks sad! You can't do that, Gabe. Don't make Precious clown boyfriend look sad. You're supposed to be the one that's like cracking jokes and being a hard ass so I feel better. Don't look sad. Oh, shit. Yikes. Look at your face. Did you sleep at all? That's the kind of attitude I expect, but don't look sad. You're like giving me the attitude, but you have a sad, concerned look on your face. Stop it.
Oh, well, let me know right away if you start feeling bad.
I will. Did you meet anyone in the village?
I greeted them already. Oh, and I also told them not to come near here.
Okay, so there are people in the village.
And there shouldn't be a fuss since I invoked the royal family's name.
But what of Pashalia's parents? Unfortunately, we didn't have time to talk to them.
I'll explain things should there be an emergency, so...
At that moment, Pashalia's eyes flew open. Huh? I don't think this is Pashalia if there's question marks. I feel like it's Vita, right? If it's like Pashalia opened his eyes and then there's now a question mark voice. So I'm just going to read it as Vita, but I don't remember the voice we gave her literally in the last part, so whatever. Phew! It looks like this body is finally stable enough to hold a conversation. This voice... Pashalia's lips moved, but the voice that emerged didn't belong to him. Furthermore, the cracks throughout his body had disappeared. The voice continued despite my confusion. My name is Vita. I'm a water spirit, and I lent my power to Pashalia. Vita, a higher water spirit who lends her power to Pashalia, the oldest, strongest spirit in Ruth. Damn, Pashalia! You got the big guns. Do you happen to be the spirit who formed a contract with Pashalia? Is Pashalia gonna be alright? He's imbibed some of the water here, so he should be fine for a while. And gosh, it was a lot of work.
Thank you for saving Pashalia, Vita.
Don't cry over such a thing. For your information, he's not fully recovered because he's not fully recovered just as he's doing fine for now. Based on what I saw of his condition, I can assume he's suffering from some kind of disease. What in the world is it? You're right. I'll explain everything. There's nothing to hide anymore, anyway. Vita cleared her throat before she began her explanation. Pashalia has a congenital disorder that gradually saps the water from his body. Humans call it Vacitas? Titus? Titus, I think. Okay, well, we'll call it Vastitis. Because it's vast-itis. Itis. Vastitis? Titus? Anyway, an incurable affliction that causes one's body to gradually lose water. First, the sufferer becomes paralyzed, then the rest of their body follows, and then they die. I shouldn't laugh, but that's so dramatic. Like, they lose water, their body becomes paralyzed, the rest of their body follows, and then they die! Jesus. It's like when you watch medical ads, like, drug ads, and they're like, may cause uncontrollable urination and death. Like, excuse me? Like, whatever it is, there's always, and death. That's extreme of a, side effect. Like, it's also like whatever freaking medication, you're like, this is a medication to cure XYZ. May cause XYZ. Well, like, what? Or death. Both the cause and the cure are unknown. Oof. Mastitis. Really? You know of it? I'm not well versed in the subject, but I've heard it's incurable. The water in your body slowly decreases and you become paralyzed over time. First your limbs go, and then your organs. Finally, you die. Sounds like a lot of fucking diseases out there. And we still don't know the cause or the cure. And that's right. And because of it, people often suspect Pashalia wouldn't live to reach adulthood. Sorry. How could this be? I told you he was dying. I mean, I always feel like it was obvious when you saw, like, the cracks in his hands and, like, makes sense. I was shaken. Although I fully understood what they said, my mind refused to accept it. Yet Pashalia is an adult now and he looks healthy. And do you have something to do with that, Vita? I do. It's impossible to cure a disease just by forming a contract with a spirit. A normal one, anyway. I can tell you're exceptionally strong, seeing as you can converse with us. And not to mention Pashalia's whole look. But unless you're a great spirit with immense power, you shouldn't be able to cure him. That's with the water thing. I only have temporary, and, like, now it's time for me to part with you, and, like, you're gonna die on. You know what I mean? Like, I held it off type of a thing. That's the whole water, time thingy, the whatever. You know what I mean? Like the little thingy. You know what I'm talking about? The little water timekeepy thing. I can't think of what the fuck they are. You know what I mean? Hourglass. That's it. Thank you. Somebody said it. I heard you. You're not wrong. I can't cure a disease. That's why I synchronized with him. Synchronization, or for a forbidden technique in which a spirit takes over a human's body. Contracts and synchronization can't be triggered at the same time, but a synchronized human can use the spirit's power as if they'd made a contract. However, since the spirit can no longer replenish their elemental power from nature, they will gradually run out of mana and vanish. Oh, that's even worse. Okay. I thought it was like, okay, she's temporarily holding it off, but no. They synchronized. She only has a certain amount of power, and the more he's using in Circus, the faster she's dying, basically. Huh? I'd never heard that word before. You synchronized. I see. And that explains how Pashalia could live a normal life. And everything else, for that matter. I heard it's a forbidden technique that works outside the contract terms, though. Judging by the change in their expressions, I could tell it was a dangerous thing to do. I'm well aware. I didn't do it because I wanted to, okay? I couldn't see Vita herself, but I imagined her stomping the ground when she shouted. Hey, calm down. You're a higher spirit, right? I figured you'd lived quite a long time. You've lived quite a long time, right? Jesus. And yet you're over here yelling like a spoiled brat who... How are you calling a brat? Let me tell you something. I'm the oldest spirit here in Ruth. You are? Sure am. I've known Pashalia since he was this little. I'm practically his older sister. Frankly, it was really bizarre to see Vita speaking through Pashalia's body. Yeah, no, I'm gonna close my eyes. This is just bonkers. I could totally relate to Sephora. After that, Rady and Vilio tried to calm Vita down as much as they could. Finally, Vita deigned to tell us about Pashalia's past. There's little baby Pashalia again! Did you know that children and people who are dying can see spirits? Little Pashalia was basically a combination of both, though he was very popular with spirits. Poor fucking thing. My little brothers and sisters, the lesser spirits, often played with him, reading picture books, drawing, you name it. Every day they'd tell me how fond they were of him, saying things like, Pashalia is very kind. I love him. However, as he grew up, his disease got worse and worse. From the time he turned 15, he couldn't even leave his bed. He somehow managed to hold on for a few more years, until he turned 19, and that was when everything took a turn for the worse. My siblings came crying to me, asking me to save Pashalia. I told them we shouldn't interfere with human life and death, no matter how much we like them. But Pashalia wanted to go on an adventure. Maybe we can cure his withering disease with water magic. I'm just going to read it in her voice. There's supposed to be obviously spirits going back and forth at this point, but I don't know which one's which, but like, Okay, we'll just throw in different voices, whatever. Hey now! Oh, okay. Pashalia wanted to go on an adventure. Maybe we could cure his withering disease with water magic. Hey now, You guys don't have that kind of power, you know.
But we have you! He might be cured if he forms a contract with you.
No, as your older sister, I have a responsibility. I'm here to protect you all. I won't contract with a human.
Aww. Boo!
Hey, hold on. Stop crying. Fine, fine. I told them I'd do it because I couldn't let them form a contract with a human. I have no idea what kind of human he is, and I don't know if his disease can be cured with a contract. But they'll all be sad if I just let him die without doing anything about it. Oh, it should be here. I don't see any other humans. Ah, look at her! We got a little CG where we can see Vita. She's adorable. Look at her. Girl's like in her fucking bikini, but I love the fact that she got like, they ain't thigh-high boots, but those are like, they look like stockings, but also webbed feet. Like, she got thigh-high webbed feet. I love it, and her hair looks like bubbles. So cute. It says higher what? I'm coming in! Oh, that was supposed to be Vita. I guess it was. Ooh. I'm a higher water spirit who lives in Ruth. Okay, higher water spirit is supposed to be Vita, but I guess because she hasn't introduced herself. I've heard about you from my siblings. You want to go on an adventure, don't you? I'll lend you my power for that. Do you know what a contract is? Oh. You need to understand the contract before I can lend you my power. I'll tell you the terms. As for the price... good timing. I'll use this. If you give me that water hourglass, I'll make a small pact with you. You shouldn't be able to move. Oh, you should be able to move at the very least. And then you can go on that adventure thingy, right? We'll have to try it first, and I'm going to put a limit on the mana I give you. I know. Let's use this hourglass as the time limit. My mana will be in sync with this thing. Our contract ends when all the water flows to the bottom. Got it? Now repeat after me. I summon thee, a water spirit. Hey! We can't solidify our contract if you don't say it clearly. Don't tell me you can't even speak. We really can't do this without the chant. Wait. I don't know what to do if you die here. I've already told the others to leave this to me. If I'm not mistaken, your disease is, like, really bad, right? The water in your body is all dried up. I don't really want to do this, but maybe he'll be able to speak if I synchronize with him for a moment. This is the only way. Here we go. Huh? Gone. But how? I can move? I'm circulating the water in your body. Be grateful. See, you. Ow. The cracks in my hands are all gone. And my hair is different too. It's as blue as water. Well, I've synchronized with you after all. You should be able to do the chant now. Listen, okay? Speak clearly and accurately. Got it. I summon thee, O water spirit. Lend me thy strength, and I shall give thee this water hourglass in return. Summon thee, O water spirit. Lend me thy strength, and I shall give thee this water hourglass in return. Why isn't it working? Maybe I did it wrong. Do you think we should do it again? No, I think you can't synchronize and form a contract at the same time. That must be it. It's basically a double contract. In that case, how about you undo this whole, synchronizing thing? I can't. If I do that, you'll just go back to the way you were before. You couldn't even speak. See, I don't really know the difference between the contracts, but is it bad if you continue to synchronize with me? contract only lets me lend you my power for a price, but a synchronization lets me take over your body. Synchronization is a forbidden technique in the spirit world. Besides, I can't replenish my natural energy if I stay in your body, and my power will wane over time. If we keep this up, I'll eventually disappear. And naturally, your disease will return once I'm gone, and you'll die. So, have you realized how serious it is? Doomed from the start, so there's not much I can do about dying. It's not the same for you, Sid. You're like an older sister to those kind-hearted spirits. I don't want to get you involved. And undo the synchronization. Then what? Do I just tell the kids I watched you die, even though it's not what they want? But there's no other... Listen! You now have the body of a human and the magic of a water spirit. You're half spirit. If we put it that way, and then even though you can't contract spirits as a human, should you act as a spirit and forge a pact with a human who has stronger water magic, there's a chance you'll be cured. I don't believe there's anyone like that in this world, though. I know! No one has ever tried something like this! But this is the only thing I can think of. I don't know any other way. That's why he was looking for someone so he could contract with them as if he were a spirit, because he's kind of like a human and a spirit at the same time. Sorry. I suppose you have a point. Come all the way here just to give me a chance, so... I'll try searching for someone with powerful water magic. You can contract with Calivis. Got powerful magic. Is that where we're going? Oh, right. Do you mind telling me what your name is? What? A name? I don't have one of those. Humans only give them to us when we form a contract. Spirit names. Spirits don't have names, but some contractors name them upon forming a contract. That's why it called her Higher Water Spirit and not a name, because she didn't have one. Okay. Oh, alright. Since you don't have a name, I'd like to give you one. Is that okay? Suit yourself. In that case, your name is Vita. It's an old word that means life. I think you save lives, so it suits you. Vita, huh? Not bad. Now come on, hurry up and get ready to go. We need to go to bigger cities to look for a human with strong mana. Hey, I think I can go on an adventure with you. I'm excited. Oh, almost forgot. I'll be focusing on keeping your disease at bay, so don't talk to me too much. Huh? I want to avoid exhausting my power as much as possible. Basically, while we do share a consciousness, you'll still have to do everything yourself. I'm not sure if I can do things by myself, though. In the books I've read, the protagonists are usually accompanied by their friends during their big adventure. You really care about this adventure thing, eh? Isn't that fun? I'm not really sure, since I've never left this village. But I was dreaming of it long before I wound up confined to my bed. I'd imagine myself surrounded by unique individuals as we travel to different cities, and that's exactly what he got to do. You can't kill him, though. I have a feeling the normal end you're going to kill him, aren't you? We'd laugh over nonsense, argue over nothing, and sometimes we'd even clash with our foes. We literally did all of these things. And in the face of great danger, we'd join forces and take them all down. To myself, so much fun. I knew it was true. Still, I can do anything I want inside my imagination. Poor precious thing. It's killing me. Guys, I'm gonna die here. Oh my god. After Vita revealed Pashalia's weighty past, we were rendered speechless. Know anything. He told us he was a little naive because he grew up in a village. He laughed about it. He said he didn't want to use his magic because he isn't used to it. Turns out those were all white lies. Never could have imagined his circumstances were so dire. And that's how we both left Ruth and headed to our first big city, in the capital, Arthur. We met Ginia there and got scouted for circus. I see.
I thought he was just a dewy-eyed contractor I could persuade with a few pretty words. I had no idea he synchronized with a spirit. You let him join us, huh? Based on your story, the more he uses magic, the riskier it gets for you, too.
The riskier it gets for you, too. The thing is if he had told us, I mean, because it's forbidden, she probably didn't want him to, but he kind of should have.
I was against it at first, of course. And then on second thought, I realized traveling solo would cost a great deal of money and time. We had neither. I had no choice but to agree so we could continue looking for a powerful mage.
So that's why. But hey, couldn't you just ask the royal family to help out? When it comes to somebody who's got strong mana, wouldn't the king be number one?
Once you form a contract, the spirit has to be by their contractor's side at all times. Do you think the king would be generous enough to save some country bumpkin's life when his own son is also in trouble? She has a point. Regardless of his feelings, it'd be difficult in his position.
Olivia is like, I got water magic. Now that I think about it, I saw Pashalia loitering around the castle when we got back to Arthur. Or yeah, because he said something that they wouldn't help me. See, I don't think they'll help someone like... Back when I just left Ruth, I believed I'd find them right away. So he was wondering if he could ask them to form a contract, not ask them about magic.
That's all I can tell you. Ask the person himself for the rest.
Huh?
Oh, see, he should wake up any minute now.
Rita couldn't even finish her sentence before Pashalia's eyes closed once more. He looked like he was just sleeping. Is he really going to wake up? Staring at the man before me in his repose, I struggled to believe it. Oh. Okay, the only thing is they're showing him still with all the cracks and everything on his body, but they said that those went away. But, I mean, they're just reusing the same CG, except for he's awake now. But I do wish that they had kind of cleaned, like, that's not supposed to be there anymore. Little detail missed, but whatever. Shalia opened his eyes and blinked several times. Huh? What happened to me? Shalia...
Literally, you're finally awake, Pashalia. You used magic to save me, and then you collapsed as soon as the show ended.
Sorry for worrying. Did that come out? Like, I just looked over and it didn't even look like, so, sorry for worrying you. I don't know if that... It's weird the way my thing is registering, like sometimes it looks like it's not, but and I don't know. Anyway.
You sure did, bud. Good thing we had Vita with us.
Found us out then.
Uh-huh. She told us about your disease and the synchronization thing.
Oh. Must have been surprised to see me in such a state. Sorry. Well, it was definitely a surprise. But you're still you, Pashalia. I was wondering what you were hiding all this time. When I heard the truth, it finally clicked for me why you avoid using magic. Care for some water, and just tell us if you need it. Don't hold back. Everyone was trying to treat him like usual. In the face of their kindness, I bit my lip hard to hold back a sob. I could taste the tang of blood. I couldn't take my eyes off Pashalia, who was looking at the ground. Then, he looked up at me. Our eyes met. See... Come on, girl! Say something! I forced my trembling lips to part and finally muttered, Morning! I feel like welcome back is better than morbing. I think that was our other game. There's like typo instead of morning, it said morbing. Oh no, it's morning. Instead of welcome back, it's morning! I guess because that's the dumbest response ever. I think that's so morning! Instead of welcome back. But I guess welcome back is more composed. Like, welcome back. Morning? Where you just sound like you can't quite grasp your thoughts. Morning. My voice was so small it sounded like a mosquito buzzing. I repeated myself, making sure Pashalia could hear it. Morning, Pashalia. Morning. I greeted him as if he'd been asleep, yearning to tell him that it was only a bad dream. that he'd woken up and everything was the way it had always been. But Mishalia's eyelids fluttered a little bit. Yeah, morning. Hello? What? Yeah, it's not picking up my voice. Like, what the fuck? I swear I just said my line, like, yeah, good morning, and it didn't register. I don't know. Hearing that, I felt he got what I'd wanted to say. Mishalia took a sip of the water Ion offered him, then a slow, deep breath. He then murmured something so hushed it was as if he were talking to himself. I wanted to keep it a secret until the end. I wanted you all to remember me as nothing more than your partner in circus. We all kept quiet, listening intently. Arthur, Kalita, Kultura, Orions, and Ferris. I believed I'd find someone with powerful mana once I'd gone to all the big cities. And yet, couldn't find them anywhere. I traveled alongside you, formed my acts, and used plenty of magic in the process. I knew I'd reach my limit in no time. But, strangely enough, I had no regrets. No exaggeration. I truly thought that maybe some things were just out of my control. And that goes to show how much fun I had, going from place to place, spending time together and all. That's why I decided to bloom the last flora and go out with a smile. I couldn't keep hauling Vita around when she'd been putting up with my selfish desires for ages, so I planned to go back to Ruth. There I'd undo our synchronization and quietly disappear. And that's really sad because you have to think that that's exactly what happens in all your other frickin' routes. That's terrifying. One tear fell from my eyes, then another. I couldn't stem the flow. Disappear? How could he say that? I didn't want to hear it. Although I was prepared to go, we decided to set off on another journey. I considered quitting since I knew I had hardly any mana left. I thought I'd regret it if I forced myself to continue, causing us to part in a not-so-nice way that made things difficult for you all. But I guess I got greedy in the end, telling myself just a little bit more. Mishalia stopped there. All I could hear in this quiet world was our soft, rhythmic breaths. I wanted to say something, but wasn't sure what, so my lips stayed clamped tight. A long silence passed between us. However, I need to put an end to that too. The words that escaped his lips were ruthless. I was supposed to die a long time ago. I only lived this long thanks to the spirits. I can't depend on them anymore. With that out of the way, forget about me. From today forward, I'm no longer part of circus. Wait! I spoke up without thinking. Hold on, this is all too sudden. You say you're putting an end to things? There's no way I could forget you. There's got to be another way. I'll search for it. We'll all help you. Mishalia just shook his head without even looking at me. I appreciate the thought, but this is what nature has intended for me. This will just happen again if we try to defy that. So, it's enough already. Well, help me realize my dream. I'd always wanted to go on an adventure with my friends. It was supposed to be nothing but a fantasy. I managed to create beautiful memories. This marks the end of my journey. Thank you so much for everything. His words were so kind. This was clearly a farewell. No! Mishalia, wait! Mishalia slowly closed his eyes, no matter how many times I called him.
Mishalia!
His pulse is stable. He must have used up all his energy. Let him sleep for now.
Okay. I guess we'd better let him stay here. Agreed. Now let's pitch a tent nearby and watch over him.
I will procure him some blankets. While the others got busy, I sat there without moving an inch. Mishalia's words, played over and over in my mind, hold him. This marks the end of my journey. Thank you so much for everything. No, that's not how he really feels. He wouldn't even look at us when he said it. Well, I mean, who, is okay, peace out, guys. I had fun. I'm ready to die. Like, no, you don't. Like, he doesn't want to die. Now he's made friends. I'm sure he doesn't want to, but it's like, what are his options? Just drain Vita till she dies and then he dies? And then that's kind of cold, you know? There's no way someone who's so afraid of his end that he doesn't dare sleep would break things off. Those aren't his true feelings.
Spacey.
Olivia, sitting by my side, shot me a sideways glance. Maybe he was just as anxious as I was. Nah, he knows you're in love with him. Sorry. Don't know what to do.
It's fine.
Feels like some part of Pashalia is already resigned to his fate, as if he's refusing to hear us.
Yeah, he was scared and lonely. Is he not gonna smile anymore? I want to see Pashalia's smile.
Are you in love with him too, Calivis? Jesus. Me too. Well, what can we do?
Something I can do.
Calivis curled up close to me. I was still feeling so lost. There was really only one thing I could do. Till that time comes, but please stay with me. I want to see you smiling next to me for as long as possible. I promised him. I said I'd be by his side. So I'll stay right here. My memory of that night was the only thing keeping me going. It's so sad. I know he's not going to die. It's a good ending. A few days later, Shalia was still asleep. Honestly, I didn't want to leave his side even for a second, but Rady scolded me, saying, "What if you collapse too?" Only once someone else agreed to stay beside him did I trudge off to the tent to sleep. You're like, bring me a pillow. I'll sleep right here.
Oh my! You look as terrible as ever. How many times have I told you not to stay up?
Morning came, yet I hadn't slept a wink. I got up to greet everyone out of habit, but Ginius swooped in to scold me. I tried to sleep, but I always jolted awake the moment I started to drift off.
If this goes on, I'll force you to sleep, even if I have to sedate you.
Ginia, you carry that kind of shit on you? Like, shame, don't. Ginia's way of fussing over me was so him. It pulled a chuckle out of me. But see, this is also, too, why you're like, how do you not adore this man? Shalia once told me he was afraid to sleep because he feared his time with us was just a dream.
And here I thought he was a real daredevil. It turns out he's pretty pessimistic. It's a thorny situation.
Thought so, too. But deep down, he's a coward. It made me think maybe he wanted to end it like this while he was still in his peaceful dream. That's not cowardice. He's just plain running away. Zephora, holding a cup of coffee, chimed in with bitter criticism. Not like I don't know how he feels. Every so often I wish I could just die already. That's such a dramatic and terrible statement. Like, I wish I could just die already. Like, that's horrible and dark. But coming from fucking Zephora, it's like, yeah, no, I feel like that's such a Zephora thing to say. I never act on it because I think about what would happen once I'm gone. Given his position, it made sense. He had to take the Kultura citizens' well-being into account. Bashalia must have been aware of his looming end since childhood. Perhaps after being toyed with for years by a disease he had no control over, he just wanted to be free. Ion's gaze dropped. He was all too familiar with yearning for freedom.
You can even call it aesthetic. A beautiful way to quit. And I'm sure he didn't want to show us his withered hands and skin.
Everyone had their own views. No one could invalidate another's perspective. However, I never let him die, no matter how much he wanted to. I thought about it over and over again during all those sleepless nights. Every time I came to the same conclusion. I can't just accept this, even if it's what he wants.
Obviously, duh.
Rady appeared, yawning, with a swish of his tail. He must have just woken up.
You can respect his wishes and all, but only if he respects yours in return. What kind of monster would want their crush to die?
Oh
my.
Are they actually shocked? Like, Ion's covering it well. Ginny is like, wait, what? And Zephora's over there like, I kind of fucking knew it, or I just don't care. I don't know. Ugh. Is this really the best time to disclose something so delicate? Wow. Can't read. Reedy!
What are you mad for? Let the others notice it too.
That's not the problem here!
But it is.
Brady brushed my arm with his fluffy tail.
But don't get me wrong. But our biggest strength at a time like this is the fortitude to keep moving forward till we die.
You have a point.
Right. The strongest always win in the end. That ain't the time to be hesitating. If you really don't want to lose him, give it all you got, even if it kills you.
Oh, Brady. His encouragement brought a smile to my face, and I nodded vigorously. So, leave anything involving muscles to them while we'll do the intellectual work. Huh? Think about it. I know we don't want him to die, and we want to continue traveling a circus, but at the end of the day, things are looking grim if we don't act. We at least need to find a solution, or it'll be too late even if he changes his mind. You have a point. Vashali only lived this long because he synchronized with a spirit when he was about to die. If we undo the synchronization now, Vashali's body will return to its original state and he'll die right away. You know that much, right? Yeah. But if they stay synchronized, Vita will burn up all her mana and disappear. And Vashalia will still die anyway. Looking at our situation right now, our fastest option would be to heal Vita. That way we can at least escape the crisis. We need to have Vashalia, who's now half spirit, make a contract with someone with strong water magic for that to happen. If he shares mana with his contractor, it'll ease Vita's load. Never found anyone like that, though. Not even after we traveled the country. If I remember correctly, you're a contractor as well, right, Ginia?
I am, but my partner's just a small spirit who will easily be overpowered by a higher spirit like Vita. And plus, their element is wind. Besides, ordinary people without mana can't form a contract with a higher spirit. We can't even do it with the Fae. It has to be a human with magic.
But there's only one person who can do it.
Yes, and the king.
Not true. Livis could do it. I bet.
And that's why that boy lent us a hand.
Huh? You mean... No way. Livis?
Livis feels responsible. Vashalia reached his limit after trying to cover for the prince's mistake, after all. He told me this last night, you see. You want to make a contract with Vashalia? Yeah, I should be qualified for it, right? You should be indeed. But your mana isn't stable yet. Even if it's possible, we don't know what kind of impact it'll have. I don't think His Majesty will permit it.
Okay. The whole point of, going around and taking Calivis is so that, he, opens himself up and grows and, becomes the 17-year-old he's supposed to be. Hi! If that's the case, if he turns into, his normal self, why don't we have a route with him? I feel like it would be a little weird because we've seen him as, cute little chibi baby. And then all of a sudden he's going to turn into, hot our-age prince. You're not going to turn him into hot our-age prince. If they do, though, this would be a good time to do it. You know what I mean? Because it's okay, I gotta control my mind, I gotta do this. Blossoms into the way he should have been, grows, magic growth spurt, whatever. Then Mana Stable can make a contract with Pashalia. That would be fucking crazy. Anyway.
I'm sure Father will understand if I ask him, so... It's precious of you to think of your friends like that. But things aren't going to go smoothly just because you're a prince. Allow me to make things clear. Compared to the safety of the nation's sole heir, the life of a mere citizen is less than rubbish. And that's just how important your existence is to our country. It's so important that, over the years, we've done all we can to heal your frozen heart. I know that. But, Ginia, it's all thanks to all of you that I've recovered so much that I could go on this amazing journey in the first place.
If they make him, super sexy, adult boy prince, I'm gonna have to do a new voice? Jesus. I don't have enough!
Even now, everyone's helping me fully recover so I can mature into my 17-year-old body.
See, this is what I'm saying! That's gonna happen, isn't it? And maybe not this route, but it's gonna happen. Oh, God.
In another way, If everyone isn't helping me move forward, I might not be able to fulfill my duty as the next king. Maybe I won't be able to grow properly. If my existence is so important, saving a friend who's been helping me should be my highest priority. Right? Oh, my goodness me. Where did you learn to be so sly?
He learned it from Zephora in Ion's route, remember?
Do you mean... It does make sense, I agree. But you still have a long way to go. You need to come up with more arguments before you can convince the royal palace. Arguments? Although research for Vestitis is ongoing at the Sage Tower, we still don't know a cure for it. And the fact that we can prolong a patient's life with a water spirit's already a big discovery. Research on this disease will surely progress with your temporary assistance.
Volume just cranked.
It's risky indeed, but if we can save a lot of people suffering from the same disease, it should be enough to justify your decision. Whoa! Amazing! I've been outsmarting the stinky old geezers in the palace for so long. I've got plenty to show for it. Alright, I'll absolutely get permission to save Pashalia.
I can't believe he'd do such a thing.
After that, His Highness went to Arthir and returned to the palace. I know he's trying his darndest to get their approval right this minute.
But they're like, how did he fly away on Vilio? Because Vilio's not here, I don't think.
Now, please applaud Prince Calivus' brave decision and my exquisite brain.
Chinia. Tell us that sooner!
Tell us that sooner!
If it's multiple people, you have to do the Valley Girl.
What? And don't get your undies in a twist.
Apologize to me. Now. I wasted so much time trying to come up with a plan. How dare you act all high and mighty? Again, I imagine Zephora just being little. Well, he's littler than Ginny, just like storming up to him like a little munchkin. Agreed. I legit hate that about you. Jeez, come on, Ginia. I'm so exasperated I can only laugh. I fucking love Ginia. Still, things were looking up. We should be able to save Pashalia this way. This isn't the end anymore. He's not that much shorter. He's like an inch or two, but like, I just imagine him being like, but still, you know? I think, like, I guess in general he's still slightly shorter than everybody else, but I kind of like that. Avilio might be too, but he's a dragon and he's just like adorable, so. For now, yeah.
Well, let's just await His Highness's return for now. We should be able to get news via the chalice tonight.
I hope Pashalia is willing to form the contract.
True. Well, I can picture him complaining.
I'll persuade him until he gives in. That's the only thing I can do, so I'll do my very best. I feel like this is where Rady pops up and it should be like, if you tell him you're in love with him, maybe he'll change his mind. Wink, wink. I reached into my pocket and held the crystal. It had become my lucky charm. Grant my wish. Please. Hope our wishes reach Pashalia. I shall go prepare our meal while we wait for His Highness.
I'll go see Pashalia. It's almost my and Vilio's turn to watch over him.
I'll come with you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Hopefully this next scene isn't too long, so we don't have that much time, but... Calivus succeeded in getting the king's permission. Woohoo! I thought they were going to make it a little more dramatic with like, okay, Calivus was trying, and he's trying to convince the prince and like, make you feel like, oh, it's going to go the other way when you knew that this was the way it was going to go. He came back to Ruth immediately after. Looking a little bashful, he declared his success in front of everyone. I wrapped him in a big hug. We then went to Pashalia's side to form the contract. Save him. Okay, that scene was quick. I didn't know they were going to go right there, but...
Hey! I ain't waking up at all, you know. Oh, what should we do? Oh, we need him to say the chant to make the contract.
When we arrived, Pashalia looked to have recovered a little. The cracks in his body had disappeared. Yet he was still sleeping. Your time to shine, lizard brain. Hit him. Fucking Sephora. Punch him, it'll wake him. I love fucking Sephora. Jesus Christ. Hold on. Why would you... Dude, I'm not gonna do that. Feels like he's willfully choosing not to wake up. He doesn't want to wake up. Uh-huh. Vita? Her voice emerged from Pachalia's lips. He's not going to wake up until you give up. He's so adamant about it. No way. That will not resolve anything. True. Is there any way we can wake him up?
I'm begging you, Vita. I've earned the king's approval to form a contract with Pashalia.
What?
Calivis is the prince of this country, and you know how strong the royal family's mana is, right? So there shouldn't be a problem.
You'll save him? For real?
Yeah, I promise.
You heard them right, Pashalia. Take care of the rest yourself. Stop pretending to be asleep. Look how mad she is. Cute. He'd have chided him, and then finally. Pashalia woke up. Pashalia! His expression was bitter. He glared at Calivis with a reproachful eye.
You heard me right, Pashalia. Let's form a contract. I got permission fair and square. I really don't want you to die.
Why did you go to such lengths? After all the cheers and
After all the cheers and applause at the end of our show, I realized something. Even I can make people happy if I try.
Oh my god, my bird is screaming and I just want to fucking punch him. I would never do that, but I swear to God, I want to scream and tell him to shut his fucking mouth, but if I do that, then he thinks that that's attention and then he screams more. Stop it!
You were right, Pashalia. Anyone will succeed as long as they don't give up, no matter how many times they fail. I managed to see it through because you cheered me on, despite how many mistakes I made during practice. You taught me a powerful spell called Not Giving Up.
Calivis's commanding gaze betrayed no hint of hesitation. In that moment, he struck a grandiose figure for someone so small. Because it's so funny, because he's mentally like a 17-year-old prince who's like got his shit together, but like physically he's like 7 and chibi.
Besides, my fault you collapsed.
If that's not...
When I slipped up on stage, you didn't just save the crowd. You saved me, too. You did it so I could successfully end the show and not lose my confidence again.
I just got too engrossed and made a split-second decision.
I'm the same way, Pashalia. Do we even need to justify it? I want to help a friend who's risked his life for me. That's all I want to do.
Pashalia was rendered speechless by Calivis and his strong resolve. Filio sensed Pashalia wavering and gave him a little push. You heard, Calivis. Why don't you give it a try? Sorry. I can't. Why? Appreciate your thoughts, Calivis. I really do. But even if we were to form a contract, we'd only be delaying the inevitable. Wouldn't actually solve anything. Because of the synchronization? Pashalia nodded. Managed to make the contract. Vita will borrow his mana and escape her doom. And also live a normal life like I did as part of Circus. But for how long? If Calivis forms a contract with me, bound to my side, forced to supply me with mana, and there's no guarantee it won't be a burden for him. Can't let the next king endure such a fate. So fucking annoyed by my goddamn bird right now. What Pashalia said made total sense. I couldn't bring myself to say, I don't care about any of that, just form the contract. Bird! Calivis was also my precious friend. However, the person in question stepped forward again.
Is that all you're worried about?
Yes.
In that case, there's no problem here. Because our contract will only be temporary.
What? What do you mean by that?
Father had the same concern as Pashalia when I went to ask him. I couldn't just give up, though. I got the people who opposed to cooperate with me, and together we racked our brains for ideas. In the end, we came up with a solution, using the lacrima. Orian's core item. Oh, I see how it is. And the power of the great spirit of water, Leve, dwells in the lacrima. In other words, it's filled to the brim with water magic. Vishalia's life can still be saved even without a contractor, as long as you have the lacrima with you.
I can't. A man like me isn't worthy of such an important artifact. No, it could work out. Kultura's labyrinth necklace is entrusted to the Sentinel. If we can make Pashalia the mayor of Oriens, he'll have the right to keep the item, with the king's approval. We're gonna make Pashalia a fucking, mayor? I'm sorry. I feel like Zephora could be, the labyrinth center, but I just... Really, Okay, well, alright, well, whatever.
Father's already given his permission, so we should be fine.
I don't really think you should just be appointing someone to a job that doesn't absolutely have any mayoral, talents or knowledge. But then again, that is, a lot of, politicians, so okay. Alright, you know what, whatever.
Our contract will only last until we get the lacrima in Oriens. I'll keep my burden to a minimum, then you can rely on the lacrima's power. What do you think? Does that work for you?
I fucking love this kid. Olympus's smile was so mischievous. I'd never seen him this confident before. It's like sassy fucking lost child. He's just so wise and smart, but technically, he does have a 17-year-old's brain. And again, a prince who, has been trained. A normal 17-year-old, no. In a fantasy world, yeah, dependent, because, you had to grow up a little fast in this kind of... You'd probably die at, 50 here. But, he's a prince, so he's been trained, he knows these things, he would have, more intense princely and kingly schooling than the rest of us, right? So he would know how to lead and rule. But, it's just funny, because he's been picking up this shit, even though he's basically just been a vegetable for the past fucking 10 years. And, was it 7 years or 10 years? Whatever. So he's got the brain of this 17-year-old fucking prince who's, kind of on the ball and really wise and, whatever, ready to take over. But he's in this tiny baby body. It's so weird. I love it, though.
That was amazing, Your Highness. Where did you learn to be that cunning?
Look at how Ginnia's beaming. Ginnia, you're turning into a list.
I learned it from the best. Thanks, Ginnia.
Wow, our not-so-family-friendly Ginnia is actually being useful for a change. Zephora was teaching the kids some shit in the Latin Ions route, so...
I want to kill you to compliment me just once.
Hey, save the spots for later. That ain't the time for that. He's right. So what do you do, Pashalia? Do you feel like giving in now? Pashalia flinched as we cornered him like a gaggle of grinning villains. Just one more push. I will never give up. I approached Pashalia, my eyes locked on his. I don't know if you remember, but we once talked about how a carriage can't move with only one wheel. Well, that's true. Just hacking on random wheels isn't the answer either. You're our treasured friend, and we can never replace you. I don't want to lose someone I care about. See, you... She's right, Pashalia. You're my first friend ever. We're both baffled by curious things. We eat delicious food and joke around together. We get loud when we chat away in our tent, and you always listen to me. We share any stones or bugs we find along the way. Like 10-year-old boys. I never had a friend I could do that stuff with till you came around. There's no reason for you to be confused, right? What we want to know is, what do you want, Pashalia? Pashalia's defiance crumbled as each of us spoke in turn. When we first embarked on our journey, I tried to keep my distance from you all. There was a misunderstanding then, but you still followed me. You never failed to offer your thoughts on my cooking and polished off every meal. You always told me that was delicious. Thank you. Those small compliments helped me realize that someone like me could be useful too. You didn't do it on purpose, did you? A guy like you is as rare as the dragons. I always thought there was something behind that dubious smile of yours. Now I realize you're actually just stupid. Everyone's giving these touching monologues, and there's Zephora like, you're just an idiot. You know, actually, that's Zephora code for I love you, man. So, valid. Honestly, you're really getting on my nerves with drawing and digging your heels in when you've never been this stubborn before. Even if your life sucks because of it, go out there and take hold of the things you want.
Agreed. And now ain't the time to worry about being a burden. After all, you've already been a burden this long. Might as well take advantage of it and let us drag you along till the very end.
I fucking love Rady too. He is basically like the shinier, fluffier version of Zephora, though. He's basically, yeah, you've been a burden the whole time. Why not keep at it? No big deal. Zephora's over there like, God, you're an idiot. What the shit? And Rady's the cheerful, like, once a burden, always a burden. It's cool, bro. Like, what the fuck?
He's right. But goodness, even humility has its limits. It's important to live well and go out with a beautiful goodbye. I bet there's nothing beautiful about leaving while you still have regrets, is there? I've only ever caused you trouble. I haven't been able to return your kindness yet.
I know we're way over time, but
I'll change, so please, stay here with me! Don't say this is the end!
Don't make the kid cry! Our powerful feelings cracked Pashalia's frozen heart, willing it to thaw. I spoke up with that in mind. Tell him you love him. Say, Pashalia... I looked him straight in the eye so I could properly convey my every word. I love you. Your dream isn't ending. We'll keep it going. So, tell us how you really feel. What do you want? Pashalia's gaze wavered, his eyes downcast. He choked up a little. Painful rasps rattled his throat, and when he looked up, his eyes were brimming with tears. I don't want to die. Still have so many things I want to do. I want to be with you all. Yeah, sure. He's like, I want to be with everybody. I go to places we haven't seen. I want to talk to Calivis more and more. And despite all the hardships we suffered, I felt so alive. Wasn't supposed to be this way. The more I spend time with you all, and the more my disease terrifies me. I know I'm being pathetic when there are other people who have died from it, but I still want to live. He burst into tears as he forced out the words. Although death had always loomed over him, Pashalia still laughed and smiled. He thought about people in need, trying to help them. But there was one person he wanted to save most of all. A fragile, cowardly man reaching out for help. His body moved in spite of himself. I hugged him tightly, fearing he might disappear at any moment. Spacey, let's start all over again. With everyone. Don't give up. Let's give it all we got until the very, very end. That suits us way more, right? Pashalia nodded hard. And then... Sorry, Vita. Pashalia put his hand on his chest. I heard a small voice crying. Don't apologize. Huh? Why are you crying? I don't know either! I don't love her. Back then I found it so troublesome to synchronize with you, but you and your friends are working so hard. I can't bring myself to leave you just because my mana will run out soon. You're like a little brother to me. Oh, brother? Me? What? You got a problem with that? I love her. No, not at all. It's just, I feel bad that you have to be stuck with me for a while longer. Really? You're still saying that when we've already come this far? Forget feeling bad about it. You should let yourself be a little greedy. You have friends now. People you always longed for. Who care about you this much? Vita was still trying to save Pashalia's life. It was really comforting to know that. It's settled then. Let's do it right now. The sooner the better, right?
Yep. How about you two?
We're ready whenever. Calivis nodded and held out his hand to Pashalia. This is just going to keep going on and on. This is the longest scene ever, but whatever, guys.
Pashalia, Vita, let me offer you resolution as the prince.
Oh, a resolution as the price, sorry.
Calivis.
Pursing his lips, Pashalia took Calivis's hand. We stood witness to their grand oath, the bond forged and exchanged for resolution, a word with myriad meanings.
I summon thee, O water spirit. Lend me thy strength, and I shall give thee this resolution in return.
Hen's air, rich with magic, prickled my skin. An outpour of light dazzled me. Before long, the light converged and silence fell. Stay with us, both of you! 2 of them had collapsed in the glow. I rushed over and touched Pashalia as well. Pashalia opened his eyes, shifting his body. Pashalia, you're okay! He blinked, then his face paled. Calivis, is he all right? Don't sweat it, he's fine. Calivis stands up and he's 17. Fucking hilarious. Filio helped Calivis up off the ground. The prince looked relieved.
I think it worked. Look at your water hourglass, Pashalia.
Water hourglass, too. An item that serves as the price for Pashalia's contract with Vita, allowing him to share mana with her. His contract with Vita ends when all the water falls down to the bottom of the glass. Okay. Gotta go, guys. We all turned to examine it. The water had changed direction, slowly flowing up. Its color had changed, too. Oh, look at it's getting changing colors as we watch!
Oh.
That was the weirdest, everybody voice at once. Oh, incredible. Oh, Vita, are you all right? I'm fine. I can sense the water mana flowing inside. I feel a lot better now. So glad you're all safe.
Well, we're over the first hurdle.
Yeah, so we're going to Orient's next, huh? How about we rest a little bit before we head out? Calivis looks like he could use it. Agreed. How do you fare, Calivis?
I'm okay. Sorry, but I do think I need some rest first. I'm not in any pain or anything. I just have no strength left.
It's because you gave me your mana.
It's okay. Don't worry. I should recover after a breather. Orient's is a bit far from here. Let's stay en route for a few days.
Agreed. We were in the middle of an emergency when we left Kalita, but I'd like to buy and store some ingredients.
True. We were in a real hurry and barely had time to eat. Let's take a good long rest.
Perfect time! All right, so we saved Pashalia. I'm actually very happy we started off the part of Pashalia's gonna die! And we knew he wasn't gonna actually die, but I'm glad we got to save him at the end of this, and my bird is screaming, and I'm gonna go down and choke him. I'm not gonna go down and choke him. I'm gonna go down and, poke him and be like, what is wrong with you? Can't see me, he's being a dick. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.